Hello, we are here today to talk about writing. Our topic today is process writing. Actually, process writing is a process. What does it mean, a process? It means you are going to write step by step. So there are some steps you need to follow in order to process your writing. Process writing is a 5-step writing system. It can be summarized as follows. Step number 1 is pre-writing. We start with pre-writing, then we draft. So the second step or the second stage is drafting. After drafting, revising, then proofreading, and then publishing. So they are pre-writing, drafting, revising, proofreading, and publishing. Let's put them in other words. A process writing, as we said, starts with pre-writing. Pre-writing is the thinking stage. You have to think. Think before you start any writing. Then comes drafting. Drafting is to put your ideas in writing, to put them on paper. After drafting, writing, you have to move to revising. You revise what you have written. So revising, in other words, make it better. After revising and make it better, you have to go back and to proofread. After some time, you make some proofreading to make everything correct. Then comes the final stage, which is publishing. In publishing, you share your finished product with other people. All writers follow the same procedures and the same system in order to get the writing in the best way they can. Even professional writers, they do the same. Let's start with step 1 or stage 1 as they call, which is pre-writing, or as we called it, think. Here you have to think. Number 1 is to decide on a topic to write about. You don't sit and choose a topic haphazardly and then you start writing. This is wrong. Decide on a topic which you are familiar with, or at least you can research. You can make some research about it. Then comes the second step in pre-writing, which is to consider your audience. Consider who will read or who will listen to your written work. Then you brainstorm your ideas. Brainstorm, it means you put all the ideas that you can, even if these ideas are irrelevant, not needed, or you may need or not in your writing, but you have to put them all in your mind before you start. So you brainstorm ideas about your topic. Next comes to list. You make a list. List the places where you can research information. Do you have books based on this topic you are going to read and check? Are you going to use the internet? Do you have any other periodic, magazine, whatever to use in order to be able to write effectively on this topic? The last stage in pre-writing is to do your research. You start researching on the topic until you come to a final decision that now you have enough information to start writing your topic. Then we start the second stage, stage number 2 or step number 2, which is drafting. And as we said before, drafting means to write. Now you are starting to write. You remember that we made some research. Now use your own words to write the information you researched, the information you collected from your research. Then write sentences and paragraphs. at this stage, don't care if they are not perfect. We don't need them to be perfect at this stage. Just put your sentences, just put your paragraphs and go. Then comes the reading. Read what you have written and judge, think if it says what you mean. If it is not correct, if it doesn't mean what you mean, you have to refine or change. The last step here is to show it to others. Show it to others. Why? To ask them for suggestions. People can suggest something that can make your writing nice, perfect. Stage 3 is revising. So now you made pre-writing and now you made the second step, which is drafting. You wrote something. Here you have to revise, to check. Why? To make it better. The reason is we want it to be better. Number 1 is you read what you have written again. Once more you read. Then think about others. What others said about it. I told you in the previous stage you have to show to other people to get suggestions. What other people said about your topic you have to consider. Then you rearrange. You arrange words, sentences, or sometimes you need to rearrange paragraphs to take one before one or the other one before the other one. Then you have to take out or add parts. Once we write and we read again, we discover that this part should come first or this part should be the last or in the middle. So you have to either take out, it means remove, or to add some parts. Now it's time to replace. Replace what? Replace the overused or the unclear words. Sometimes when we speak, when we write, we use a word more than one time. And we overuse. Overuse it means we use it so often. So these are to be removed, changed, or corrected. The last step here is to read your writing aloud. Read it aloud to be sure it flows smoothly. Flows smoothly, it means that there is no interruption, no jumping, and so on. Stage number 4, or step number 4, as we call, is proofreading. Remember, every step, every stage leads to the other one, and they are all needed. They are all important, very important in order to achieve the perfectness at the end. So proofreading, what does it mean? Again, make it correct. How can we make it correct? This way. Be sure all the sentences are complete. Then, correct spelling, capitalization, and punctuation. In this stage, you have to correct. Put it correct. Make it correct. So, correct spelling, capitalization, and punctuation. Then you have to change some words. Change the words that are not used correctly. Words that are not used correctly, change them. Use other words. Have someone to check your work. This can be a good student, a good classmate, a classmate which is good at English, or even your teacher can check it for yourself. Recopy it. Recopy, rewrite, recopy it correctly and neatly. So remember, this is the last step before publishing. Step 5 or stage number 5 is publishing. Publishing, what does it mean? It means sharing the finished product. Now you are going to publish, to share, to give your work, the finished work, to other people to read and judge your writing. How can we publish? The first thing is to read again. Read your writing aloud to a group of people, to your friends, to your teacher, maybe to your parents, and let yourself be confident or sure that your writing is perfect and appeals to them. Then you create a book. Remember, everyone should create a book. Keep a book. Keep a book. Keep a notebook at home, especially for your written work. Create a book of your work, and later I'll tell you why. Send a copy to a friend or a teacher for receiving more comments. Put your writing on display. You can publish on the school magazine, on a wall sheet, or to send to any magazine or a newspaper to publish for you. The last step is to congratulate yourself on a job well done. If you follow these steps, if you follow this system, your job will be well done. Let's start over and see pre-writing. How can we achieve? Here, in the pre-writing stage, you have to cover everything you do before starting your rough draft, or first draft, as it is often called. To make it short, pre-writing means coming up with an idea. This is the stage of generating ideas. Let's see. Pre-writing consists of an idea. When you find your idea, you build on your idea. So finding the idea, then building on your idea, and planning and structuring the idea to be put in the kind of writing you want, because writing is different. Writing a persuasive, writing to persuade is different from writing a story, is different from something else. So you have to put it in the structure you need. The first step is to get an idea. Where? From where should I get an idea? An idea can be a writing prompt. A writing prompt, it means a topic given to you by somebody else, like the topics we give you in the exams. A writing topic, a writing prompt can be something like this. This is taken from exam paper done by students before. Describing a process. Below is a flow chart showing how fish are canned after being delivered to the canning factory. Write a 250-word essay describing this process. This is a writing prompt given in the exam to students. An idea can be taken from something else. Incidents from your daily life. All through our day, we meet some people. We do things. And sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are sad about these things. Take an incident that affected you and then start writing about it. Something like this. This is a boy who got up in the morning, he made some practice, brushed his teeth, took a shower, had breakfast. This is a process because it's a step-by-step event. One third topic is thoughts that occur throughout the day. Even while working, sometimes we daydream. We dream of things that we can achieve or we can do. Or sometimes we think what we are going to do tomorrow or after tomorrow. These are like, for example, somebody's thinking, I'd like to travel to Hawaii. I'm traveling to Hawaii next week. So he starts writing about this experiment. The last thing is to think of a vivid character. Vivid character, a character you like, a character you admire, a character you know much about it. And you start writing like this one, Sheikh Zaid. All of us have some information. If you need information, you can check, research in books, in magazines, on the internet. You'll find a lot of information to write about the man. Now it's time to build on your idea. You got the idea from the prompt, from your vivid character, from your daily routine, and now you are building on your idea. How can we? It's either or and sometimes and. You can make both of them. Either you free write and brainstorm, or you free write or brainstorm. So you can choose between two. If you want to start with them both, you have to brainstorm first. Then you come to free writing. But you can use one. One of them is enough for you. Free writing, what does it mean? Free writing is to have a paper and write everything that comes into your head about your chosen topic. Don't stop to edit. Remember, don't stop to edit, even if you make mistakes. Or you can brainstorm. What does it mean, brainstorm? Brainstorm is to write the idea or the topic in the center of the page and then jot down, write quickly, just write the ideas that arise from it. Subtopics, these ideas can be subtopics, directions, related words, related adjectives, related adverbs. So you write maybe subtopics or directions you could take with the article. Let's see the third stage here, which is planning and structuring. This is the structure. First, decide which ideas you will use. Now you have a lot of ideas. You can't use them all. Choose which ideas you will use. Then decide how to order these ideas. This idea comes first. This can be kept in the middle. And this is the strongest one I'll keep to the last. Let's move to stage number 2. How can we apply it? Again, it's drafting, writing. Here you are writing. Here you are to start your first draft, also known as the rough draft or rough copy. So when you hear rough copy, rough draft, first draft, they all mean the same. At this stage, don't think about word count. We asked you to write about 250. In this stage, don't think how many words you wrote. Don't think about grammar, spelling, or punctuation. Just get it down, write. Don't worry if you have gone off topic. Even if you have gone off topic, you are writing out of the topic. Still, go, write. Or if some sections of your plan don't fit too well, need to change, not to be adjusted or whatever. Just keep writing. Remember, just keep writing at this stage. When working on your first draft, these things may help you. Remember them carefully. Set aside at least 30 minutes to concentrate. Set aside a period of time in which you sit to write. It's hard to establish a writing flow, to write smoothly, fluently, if you are just snatching a few minutes here and there. You have to give yourself a certain period of time, sit down, relax, write. Go somewhere without interruptions. This can be a library or coffee shop. These can work well if you don't have anywhere quiet to write at home. Switch or distracting programs and disturbing programs. If you write your first draft onto a computer, you might find that turning off your internet connection does wonders for your concentration level. You will concentrate well if you don't use the internet while writing, or if you don't have any disturbance, your mobile phone, you are writing next to a TV, or in the family gathering. This won't work. Don't try to write for a long time without stopping. Instead, give yourself a time limit. 30 minutes is enough to stay focused. The reason is to stay focused. After some time of writing, you will lose energy, you will lose concentration, and you will feel that you are not writing well. So, here, writing requires something very important, which is concentration and energy. So, keep away from distractions. Write in a time that you have full energy, you are not sleepy, and you are ready to write. You love to write. Step number 3, stage number 3 is revising. How can we make it better? In this stage, sometimes you will need to remove whole sections from your writing or rewrite, to write again, rewrite entire paragraphs. Or sometimes you need to add in some information. Do this with the parts you think the reader will need to understand your writing better. As I told you, expect who are your audience and do your audience or the people who are going to read or listen to your work, will they enjoy fluent writing from you? You have to check, revise, review, make it better. Now let's see it in other ways. Revising, it means adding. Adding what? Look at this sentence. While Sue was getting down the stairs, she stumbled. We want to add something here to make this sentence more vivid, strong, and attractive for the reader. Let's see how can we make this. Rearranging. Even sometimes you need to rearrange, take one sentence before the other, or sometimes one whole paragraph or idea should be moved up or down. This one, somebody followed him to the gate and gave him a nice present. Sometimes you need to remove, take out something not needed in the writing. An example is, it was very clear from the beginning of the year that John and Mick would make good friends. The last step is to replace. Sometimes we need to replace. Replace what? Look here. The weather is nice today. Very simple, straightforward, and short sentence. Now let's check how can we revise. How can we make this? How can we add? How can we arrange, remove, or replace? This is the original sentence. While Sue was getting down the stairs, she stumbled, and I added something like this to make my sentence more vivid, clear, and strong enough for my readers. While Sue was getting down the stairs hurriedly. So the reason that she stumbled is she was getting down the stairs hurriedly. She stumbled and fell down. The meaning is more clear here, and the sentence is stronger. Rearranging. Rearranging, I give you an example and let's see how can we arrange it. Followed him to the gate and gave him a nice present. Sometimes you need to rearrange like this. He gave him a nice present and followed him to the gate. Removing. This sentence, it was very clear from the beginning of the year that John and Mick would make good friends. What can we remove from here? Look, this word can be removed. The word very, because it's no need to use this word. Sometimes you have to replace. See what can we replace. The weather is nice today. This is a simple sentence, can be said by anyone. But when we say the weather is wonderful today, I think that the word wonderful is stronger than the word nice. Now remember, if you are not sure what's working and what it's not, you are not sure what's working and what's not, show your writing to someone else. This is number one solution. Number two, this person can be your teacher or just a friend who is good at or good with words, good at English. Ask them for feedback. Every time you show somebody your work, ask for feedback. Feedback is very important because they can catch things you yourself do not notice. It's better if you can show your work to several people, not one, more than one. Why? So that you can get more than one opinion. More than one opinion is better for you because suggestions will be more, improvement will be more. Stage 4 is proofreading. Make it correct. Now we want to adjust all the wording and all the grammar there. Proofreading, between brackets, editing. Editing, you have to edit. Proofreading needs to be done after revising. When editing, go through the piece line by line and make sure that each sentence, phrase, or word is as strong as possible. If you don't give yourself enough time to edit, what may happen? If you don't give yourself enough time to edit, you could end up suffering to make one sentence perfect, and sometimes even you are going to cut a whole paragraph from your piece of writing. Here is a checklist that can help you edit your piece of writing correctly. This is the thing you check, and here, how can you check? Have you used the same word too many times? Overused? In this case, use a thesaurus to find alternatives, to find synonyms, other words that give the same meaning, or a stronger meaning sometimes. Are any of your sentences hard to understand? In this case, rewrite them to make your thoughts clear. Which words could you cut to make the sentence stronger? Sometimes you have irrelevant words, like in the previous example, the word very. Words like just, quite, very, really, and generally can be often removed. Are your sentences grammatically correct? If not, what should I take care for? Keep an eye on problems like these are the most common problems. Subject-verb agreement. The subject should agree with the verb. The use of the past, present, or future tense if you are using any of them. Is everything spelled correctly? You are checking your spelling. How can I? Proofread as many times as necessary. When you feel that you are quite sure now your spelling is correct, you can even consult a good dictionary. Have you used punctuation marks correctly? Check that the commas, the punctuation marks are used properly. Now, still, I want you to remember, these are very important things to remember while process writing. Print your work and edit on paper. Once you, even if you are using the computer, print and edit, make the revision and the proofreading on paper. Why? What's the reason for this? This is the reason. You will find it very easy. It will be easier for you to spot mistakes this way. You will find the mistakes very easy if it is written on paper. The last step is publishing. Publishing, as we agreed before, sharing your finished product with other people. The final step of the writing process is publishing. You need to produce a final copy of your work in the correct format. Remember, I told you at the beginning, keep a book for all your writings. Every piece of writing counts for you. You have to keep a book for your writing. Nothing that you write is wasted, because all of it, all your writing contributes to your growth as a writer. It's time for practice now. Let's put the writing process steps in order. Here are the writing process steps. Think of them. How can we reorder them? Sure, step number 1 should be pre-writing. Step number 2 should be drafting. Number 3 is revising. Stage number 4 is proofreading. And the final stage is publishing. What should the writer do in each phase of the 5 phases, the 5 stages, and the 5 steps? Let's match them with what should be done by the writer himself. The steps: pre-writing, drafting, revising, proofreading, and publishing. The work that should be done is to make it better, to make it correct, to write, to share the finished product, to think. How can these match? Pre-writing means to think. Drafting means to write. Revising means to make it better. Proofreading is to make it correct, and publishing is to share the finished product. So, once you start writing, think, write, make it better, make it correct, then share your products with other people. That's all for today. I wish you all the best of luck in your studies. Until I see you again, thank you. Goodbye.